Alright, welcome back to the Double Scoop Podcast. This week we got a couple things lined up, so I'm gonna spend the next hour going over some of this stuff. Some of this we've seen before, but I just wanted to kick it off by just saying that this is brought to you by the Knob Shop. This is just the Instagram page. I feel like this is maybe the best page to land on. Or the website, but yeah, this is the most recent two that we've put out. I was going to do 4, but I only ended up doing these 2. This one sold already, but the pink one is still available. It's just a linear power booster. Well, it's 2 linear power boosters like flowing into the other with a gain toggle. This is kind of the first design that I did that was semi-original. I mean, it's a riff on something that already exists, but I felt like giving something like this a shot, and I wish I'd done the layout a little different. I wish I'd done a horizontal layout instead of this, but it looks kind of fun, and the knobs are kind of reverse. Like, you turn them to the right, they go down, or the volume goes down. So, and I think that's just how the schematic that I followed kind of worked out, but anyway, the pink one is still available, and I'm thinking, because I have, like I said, 4, 2 blue and 2 pink, I'll probably do the other 2. I just gotta put them together. And you will notice that I abbreviated the podcast name to just DSP, which is kind of funny, because I ended the last episode talking about DSP and not giving somebody all of your information just to have some guitar effects. Like, that seems super dumb, and I think that some people, like, a lot of their stuff got hacked, like, as far as their emails were exposed, but I think it was a quote-unquote, like, white hat hacker. So it was somebody that found the exploit, but it was, like, a good person. It wasn't somebody that was going to use the exploit and then, like, take all of the information, which I think it was, like, 3,000, 5,000 emails that got exposed, but he had found the exploit, messaged the developers, they didn't really care, and then I think he publicly posted about it, and then that's when there was like a patch made, but it was just like some of their information that was passing back and forth to the neural servers was not being like sanitized and encrypted or whatever, so he exposed that, and then I think they fixed it, but that's just the story that I've heard. But I thought it was ironic that I'm just going to start abbreviating the podcast name to DSP. Just because, I don't know, maybe I can fit more stuff in the actual title itself. Just for SEO and algorithm for YouTube. I'm just trying to get people to sign up for the newsletter, because I like doing the newsletter, and it's a little bit more straightforward, and it's more revolved around gear instead of, other stuff. So we'll switch over to this. I talked, I don't think it was last week, I think it was a couple weeks ago, or, well, it's been a couple weeks, so they do this every 2 weeks, but Mick Thomson is confirmed going to ESP, LTD, which is pretty cool. He was with Ibanez for a long time, and then with Jackson, and then switched to ESP. It seemed like he was not with Jackson very long, which is kind of wild, because I feel like Jackson has a good lineup of artists, but because I think the guys with Periphery, no, one of them's with Ibanez, one of them is with PRS. I think Misha Mansour is with Jackson right now. So that's I feel like Jackson has a good lineup, so it's weird that they lost him pretty quickly. But yeah, he's confirmed to be an ESP artist, and he is saying, it's quoted here, that his signature has been taking longer than expected because he can't decide on a model. So I guess the shape that he's going to pick is, still up for debate. I mean, he has this awesome, like, Eclipse ESP here. I think he should do something like that. It seems a little boring, but it would be a little left field for him, because he usually goes. He's been doing like that soloist shape, but he had some that were like the Warlock and a couple other random ones. So it'll be interesting to see what he ends up with. And it looks like he's got some Fishmans in there. I mean, those are pretty much the industry standard. Yeah, those are Fishmans. I think I've only played Fishman pickups at like the store. But yeah, and then there's a guitar.com article about it. Basically confirming it, but it was 5 days ago. So, but I mean, I saw the guitar.com article and just, regurgitated over that. So it's not like I had an inside scoop or anything. It was just like, it's confirmed now. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then this AI guitar stuff, I want to do this at the end. It's pretty cool. I added it to my list. All right, if we're going to talk about the Neuro DSP stuff, apparently the Fractal Audio people are disgruntled at Kemper because it seems like everybody is over the liquid profiling, which is not just copying the amp, it's copying like the entire setup. It's the cab that you're using, I think the speaker configuration, the mic placement, it says it all in here. What is all being like captured. Yeah, it captures the amp, every aspect of the cabinet, so I guess size, speaker configuration. I wonder if it does like the wood it's made out of or like the density of it, and microphone configurations and the amp's tone stack. So that's it's weird how this profiling has gotten, like, I think even some low level equipment, like I want to say Nuix, but there's I want to say an Amazon brand that they have profiling in their floor model thing, and so you can just run it through an amp and copy it. I doubt it's as thought out and as I don't want to say organic, but just like it's probably not to the level that Kemper is at. But I mean, if you wanted to, if your buddy's got an amp or two other guys that have amps that are pretty sweet, and you just run over to their house, profile it with your little Amazon pedal, and you at least it's better than buying the amp. I mean, you did it for free, other than paying for this pedal, and you go get a JCM 800 for nothing. It might not be the total JCM, but if it's just you in your basement or your guitar room, wherever it's at, and it's just you, I mean, I feel like it would probably get you by, unless you're really tone chasing or something like that. But then again, you're probably not buying that Amazon pedal that does the profiling. But the whole thing started with the Fractal Audio people posted something in their forum saying that Kemper was infringing upon this liquid profiling, which I think is very specific, and then patents have to be kept up, and the details of the patents have to be very specific. Let's see, because I've had to look before for work, but you have to really describe what the patent is. You have to be very, very specific, because somebody else can just slide in and add like 2 adjectives, and then all of a sudden they're let's look at the example one. Is this even going to give me anything? Well, you have to be very specific on what is involved, even with, I think I looked at logo trademark. So you had to go into great detail to describe the logo and all the aspects about it, just so nobody could slide in and be like, oh, well, this logo is this, and it's just a little bit better described or a little bit more specific, and then you feel like they're infringing, but they just described it a little bit better. But both people declined to comment, and I think it has something to do with Kemper being German. So it's like, who has to follow these laws that are only U.S. laws? Like, I don't think there's international patents or copyrights, because that's how China manufactures copies of a lot of stuff, like all of the chips and guitars and stuff like that. So it gets out of, if you get out of the U.S., you don't have to adhere. But then I think it gets to where you can't sell your product in that country, or you have to tweak it enough to fit those laws. But I thought that was interesting. It's like everybody can do this kind of profiling, and so I think the specifics around that or their proprietary software and how it works and everything, is going to come into play and make everything more granular. And it's not just going to be like the idea of profiling that I don't know who originated it, but Kemper was the one that made it really popular. And it's like, hey, just run this amp into your other amp and it will soak up all of its power and sound and give it to you just digitally. And there's that, the whole JHS thing where they stopped using their milk tone. I think it's milk tone, silk tone, just amp that they made the loudest, more good amp, and they were using a Kemper instead of that. Like they had profiled it, and then they did it for like a year, and nobody noticed that the demos changed. But I wonder how. I think with that, it was a fun little experiment. But after a year, your ears are gonna tune to that. Like I think if you find out which episode they switched on and go A/B it, you'd probably be able to tell, maybe. But it would have been better had they have done like one with the Kemper, one with the silk tone, and maybe somebody would have picked up on it. But I think just hard switching and then be like, yep, oh, we tricked you for a year. That's, Bravo's the thing, because nobody knew that to expose themselves. I wonder how long. Because I feel like those guys are goofy and they know how to have a good time. And I wonder how long they wanted to do this. Like, I wonder if it was planned to like, hey, for the next year, we're just going to switch to the Kemper. And then we're going to reveal it. Like, I wonder if that was a plan or if it was like they were a month in and nobody had noticed. And they're like, let's just keep it going. Let's see how long we can, ride this pony. But I thought it was a fun little social YouTube experiment that they pulled off. And as far as I know, nobody knew. Nobody picked up on the fact that they had switched, and because they even pointed out that some of the knobs weren't even set. So if you looked at the amp and then listened to what you were actually hearing, visually with the amp settings, maybe you would have noticed, like, hey, that volume knob is dimed and it doesn't sound like that. But then you're at the mercy of YouTube and how they're going to squish that video and audio down and how it's going to be felt on the back end. All right, so Cesar, I don't even know, Goikian, I'm just gonna stop. He is he the new CEO? Is he the new CEO? Being appointed, yeah, okay, yeah, he's the new one. So I guess he did some sort of Instagram AMA. On his stories, and people asked him questions, and these next two things are from that. And somebody asked if they were going to get an Epiphone version of the Gibson Greeny of the Les Paul that Kirk Hammett has. And he said yes. He said that there will be an Epiphone version of that. I think that would be cool. I feel like it's so funny that Gibson seems to be doing Gibson bad and Epiphone kind of good. Like they've done a lot of really good Epiphone level signatures, like the Jerry Cantrell Wino Les Paul Custom was awesome. I think they're on number 3 of 7 or 8 of the Adam Jones Les Pauls. Those are cool. I feel like those have kind of metered out, and I feel like the hype is gonna bring them back down because they'll be like, oh my god, it's the 5th one that's come out, and I think there's 800 of each. So, sure, in the grand scheme, they're going to be pretty limited. I think if they do 8 series and they do 800 per series, it's so funny that I don't know the numbers because I've covered this at least 3 times in the actual Double Scoop newsletter. Anyway, in the grand scheme, they will be limited, and then within that limited collection, there will be the ones that are like more sought after. Like I think the Berserker one looks awesome. That art looks super cool. So I think that's the one that maybe in the future is like fetches the most price out of this series, but there's going to be a lot of people. I personally would like to have one, but it would suck to get. I think this is what. There's probably somebody out there buying the whole set, but it would suck to like get the Berserker one that I think is sick, and then Series 5 that comes out. I'm like, oh, that one's way sicker. And now it's like, do I have to offload this one and try to finesse the other one, even though it's the newest one and it would be more hype and probably have a little bit more of a premium on it. But I do think they're nice. So it seems like Gibson is doing this thing again with releasing that just insane price tag Gibson custom shop version of like the Adam Jones Les Paul that, I mean, some of them were stolen off of a truck. I think they stole like 10 of them, and it was $100K, in guitars or something. Just, I guess at list price or whatever. And then they made the standard with a couple less features, but still pretty cool. And I think you still got the burst on the case. I could be wrong. But it looks nice. And then now they're dropping it down, or they have been dropping it down to the Epiphone level, but you get the custom, binding on the back of the guitar and just the more custom, like the block inlays and everything, instead of the standard there's the step down from the custom shop. And it seems like they're doing that again with this Greeny. I think there will probably be more Les Pauls of this caliber done. I mean, they did the Jerry Cantrell. I think he got a custom. I just don't feel like he's as popular, even though he, totally deserves to be in his own right. But I don't think he's as popular as like Kirk Hammett or Adam Jones. So maybe he didn't get the mid-grade one like they have both gotten. Like they did the $25K custom shop one, and then they released I think it was $3,000 for the middle one, just the regular standard, and then now they're going to do an Epiphone one. And it would be interesting to kind of theory craft what other Les Paul is going to, get this treatment. Because like I said, the Wino kind of got it, and I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I can think of just off the jump that have kind of hit this this kind of cycle. Let's do the artist collection. So we got the Greeny, 20K, nuts. That's insane. Maybe they've been doing this with Slash. Maybe I'm theory crafting something that has been going on, and I'm just late to the party here. Just the Jerry Cantrell. Maybe I'm like halfway right. That would, So then you got the Gibson Custom Shop one that was 10K, and then which one is this one? Oh, this is just a VOS. So this isn't quite to the trim of that. I think the first round he signed them. So this must be just one that the custom shop does, and you can pay $10,000 and they'll do it. So I wonder if we can. Oh, and if you're watching, there's the burst case. It might only be on the high trim one. But I wonder if there's another big Les Paul player. I mean, I feel like Joe Bonamassa he just left and right because he's a big Gibson guy. But I wonder if there's another big Les Paul person that could get this kind of super high level and sell it out, get that mid grade and keep those in production, and then get that Epiphone level to get that just every angle of the market. Everybody that could possibly afford one has a chance. But so they're doing one of those for Kirk Hammett. And then the other thing he teased was a Dave Grohl. It's a 335. It's just got the diamond kind of F holes. I don't know if you call them F holes. But somebody said, asked him for, can we get a DG 335 for a core or Epiphone model, and they're saying it's gonna happen, which is awesome. I mean, that blue 335 custom that he has is pretty sweet. That's what I think of whenever, or just a black 335. But he's a 335 player. I wonder if it's weight, or I wonder if it's just. I know he likes to like he is quoted as saying like he likes to play the guitar like drums, so maybe he just beats the crap out of it. But his blue one is pretty popular and pretty iconic, so I could see him getting. I mean, they did one for Tom DeLonge, and that one actually kind of rebounded. Like I think it was popular whenever I was still in high school, or it came out when I was still in high school, and then it seems like a lot of that stuff we didn't know the value of it. That's something that I've kind of learned. Just been playing guitar for over a decade. I mean, you kind of see stuff that you're like, oh, that's cool, and then it disappears, or you see stuff in it and it kind of sticks, and or it just comes back up, and you're like, oh, they didn't make as many of these as they would have now because there's way more people playing, and that there's less of them, so there's the scarcity and the intrinsic value that comes with that. So just talking about the Tom DeLonge 335 that I've seen recently just go up in price, and it's a pretty sweet guitar. I always liked that he does the single pickup kind of situation. That's a good look. So yeah, it looks like we will be getting a Dave Grohl 335, which good for him. That's pretty cool, and I think it'll give him a little bit more maybe authority in the guitar market. Maybe we'll have something, because I feel like they're a good rock band, but he's not known as like a super good guitar player. He's just like a musician. So I wonder if this will put him more towards the actual guitar player level, which would be good for him. All right, let's take those out. We talked about all that. Try to find a patent. Okay, I'm going to go over these AI-generated guitars. They're pretty cool. So somebody did the DALL-E, which is like the Chat GPT image generator, and they just threw in guitars and directors for movies or maybe TV shows. I only looked at like half of these. But I looked at enough to know that it was pretty cool, and I wanted to cover them all. So Guillermo del Toro, let's rattle off a couple of their movies, so we got a little context with the guitars. So Guillermo del Toro, I'm probably butchering that. Try my best. So he did The Shape of Water, which is the one that this one is kind of looking like it went after. I never saw that. I've seen a couple of his movies. This is kind of that. I think he did Hellboy. Yeah, so this has got a little Hellboy like aqua fish guy, and then the red in it looks very Hellboy. Oh, he did Hellboy 2. I don't think I watched that one. Oh, and Pan's Labyrinth. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, all this is making a little bit more cohesive sense with that. I'm not sure. He did Blade 2. Are you kidding me? That's funny. I didn't know that. Yeah, these are all very The Shape of Water, the Hellboy, like, all the gold and that cerulean blue. Very nice. All right, and we got Stanley Kubrick, who is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. We're going to hit up his filmography. Of course, his Wikipedia page is just miles long. Oh, of course. We need to go to a different page for his films. We couldn't make this easy for me. We're just going to do IMDb. The Wikipedia page was not Wikipedia working out for me. Okay. So yeah, this one, This one has like Space Odyssey kind of vibes to it. So 2001: A Space Odyssey. To be fair, I've not seen but a handful of these movies. Haven't seen them all. Not sure here. This looks like eyes. So I don't know if that's in reference to something. There's... I don't even know. I can't even draw a parallel here. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch a couple more movies. There was one that felt like The Shining. I looked through some of these. This one, I swear there was like a pattern for The Shining in one of these, but maybe not. Maybe I need to watch more of the movies and revisit. Maybe this one has like the hotel kind of vibes. All right, Tim Burton. Okay, yes, I remember checking these out. The Tim Burton one's spot on. It's actually pretty nuts. So, acoustic guitar, which fits, and then like the bone kind of look about this. I wouldn't call it an inlay, but just the artificial paint. I love that it's only a 5-string too. Just because he's weird and 5-string. This one, the creatures in the art. I wonder if that counts, but it looks awesome. The black and white, the fun knobs, the clean gold on the pickups. This one, of course, looks just like out of like A Nightmare Before Christmas or Frankenweenie. What's another one? 9. Oh, I loved 9. 9 was so good. I don't think we ever watched Corpse Bride. Oh, James and the Giant Peach, remember that one? Batman Forever. Yeah, so this even looks like Jack Skellington. So these, I feel like the other ones, like this one's good, but the other ones didn't just rely on the art of the guitar, or like physically on the guitar to make it, come across. All right, we get the Duffer Brothers. They did Stranger Things. I think that's all they've done. I don't know. Sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. I need to adjust it out of the way. And then I'll stop whacking it every time. So, Wayward Pines. That looks like a werewolf thing. So, yeah, it's basically only Stranger Things. So, let's check these out. Acoustic, it's just got some of the artwork looks kind of related. Not so much. And then, of course, the background in the mist looks pretty spot on. I like this. I like the neon binding. That's pretty cool. That has some Stranger Things kind of vibes going on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this looks like the Upside Down. That's fun. I also like these inlays. those are wacky. That's clearly not the right fret spacing, but we'll let it ride. That one looks pretty sweet. And this one, this is kind of a rainbow burst. Doesn't feel very Stranger Things to me, but I like it nonetheless. Ooh, Wes Anderson, the Nightmare on Elm Street guy. But he did some other stuff. He did some... maybe I'm thinking Wes Craven. That was not even close. Let's see. I saw Grand Budapest Hotel. If we're keeping score, that's I don't see anything else that I've seen. So we'll see how close. Okay, that feels very Grand Budapest Hotel. That pink with the blue, that looks awesome. It's a 4-string tuners, but it has 5 strings? That's cool. Oh, these are fun. I feel like that's like a Life Aquatic one. I never saw that, but just shot in the dark here. Oh yeah, these are fun. Oh, these are all Mid-Journey. Okay, this was the cover image. Yeah, these are cool. Just even if they weren't based on a director. And Hayao Miyazaki, probably butchered that one too. Did he do Spirited Away or something? Let's look. Let's see. Did Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro? I never saw these. These are all classics, and I've never seen them. That is sad. I need to get on it. Yeah, I can't say that any of these relate to anything because I haven't seen the movies, but they look cool. They don't look objectively cooler than these Wes Anderson ones, but I like them. I mean, maybe this is my, kickoff to start watching some of these movies because I've heard they're awesome. I mean, these Howl's Moving Castle, My Neighbor, Totoro, and Spirited Away. I've heard nothing but good things for those, so probably should check those out. All right, well, that's all I had to cover. I know this is a little bit shorter than I usually go, but I just got back probably an hour ago, or maybe a little bit more, from hockey, and we got absolutely stomped, so that was not fun. Lost 5-0, but we got out there and we tried, and we were down 4-0 at the end of the first, so morale was not high, but I think we grinded it out and just couldn't get it done. And this is like an island game because last week was Mother's Day, next weekend is Memorial Day, so to just get absolutely trounced on an island date, kind of not fun. But nonetheless, I still got down here and did a double scoop. I will put show notes in the footer and links. I'm still figuring out what's the best placement for everything. I'm really just chunking stuff down there. I need to actually write like a template and copy and paste from there instead of what I'm doing, which is just kind of not cutting it. But anyway, thank you for hanging out. Thanks for listening to me ramble about some stuff I may or may know anything about. Check out the knob shop. We've got one more of those MM, the pedal from Maker's Market. I just shortened it to MM. I didn't know what to call it. We might have 2 more of those coming, and then we have another pedal that is a harmonic percolator. Kind of, it's very similar to that. It's based on the amplified parts basic schematic, or just like standard harmonic percolator, but I'm working on it, and I'm missing a turret board. I was supposed to get 4. I got 1, and then it was like, yeah, it's on back order. I'm like, I got the last one. Are you sure? They're pretty small. You could have found another one. So I'm waiting on more of those, and I'll have to get some more transistors, but that should be coming out soon. I'm working on artwork for it. I'm going to try to do a little like step tease where I do it might be too lame, but I was going to do like a blackout of the logo that I'm working on, and then do a logo reveal, and then reveal the pedal, and just have like a nice like 3 things, and maybe promote the pedal, because I did a boost on the MM pedal and it got sold. So maybe those paid ads actually pay off. So hopefully that guy's happy. I sent that out on Friday. Maybe he gets it tomorrow. I need to check the shipping. But yeah, check out the knob shop. Shoot me a message if you want something, or want something kind of custom. I'm still kind of up in there. I'm doing something for a guy locally, so we'll see after that is done with. But follow the knob shop, follow Double Scoop Podcast, subscribe to the Double Scoop Podcast. It will come out this upcoming Friday. I think I was a day late on the last one. Maybe I got it out Friday. I have to look. But it's always on Friday or that weekend. It'll come out. But thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.